Say, Stuart, for someone who's newly starting their journey towards sobriety, why is it so important to understand the matrix of addiction, or also known as the pattern of relapse? And how do we go about doing this? And maybe, Stuart, if it'd be helpful, what is the matrix of addiction? Like, what is that progression?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say start with curiosity. And when it comes to this tool, you're looking at like, what is an action? Like, let's say me being home alone is the start and the very top. And then what does that action produce as an excuse? Like, what is it then? What's the lie I tell myself? And then it could be like, well, I'm bored. I'm by myself. Let me just turn on the TV because I have nothing else to do right now. Or let me scroll on my phone. And so then you scroll on your phone. You're like, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just on my phone. Maybe I'm looking at one of those 5 social media accounts I have. And then you can find yourself like naturally going through until you get to the point that you're at a relapse and you're asking, I don't even know how I got to the point that I relapsed. All I was like, last thing I remember, I was just sitting on the couch and I was home alone. And it's looking at that tool and going back and saying like, where are the points along this thing that I can see a shift in my attitude and a shift in my behavior. And I think what's really interesting about this, my youngest is now 5. But with all the little kids, one of their favorite toys was this little mechanism that had little gears on it. And when you turned one, it turned like 7 or 8 of these
Yeah.
gears that were all on the thing. And I think of that in like the matrix of addiction. Like we don't have just one matrix of addiction. Like there's multiple areas where like in different scenarios we can find ourselves in like different things, and so like one might lead to another that might lead to another. And if we come in with curiosity, we might find and discover in this tool that there's patterns that we've developed that we continue to repeat, and until we start to unearth these things and discover them, we're just bound to repeat them. And I think that's like one of those powerful tools. I've got one of the joys, and I do have to, in going back into the numbers, I'm only in pillar 3 right now, so I have to like I'm going to correct and say this is the honesty part and the not lying part. Since we haven't gotten to pillar 4 yet, I'm going to have to say I'm only in my 13th round of leading up to this point, since we're not there yet. But there's so many other areas of the matrix of addiction that we can look at to say like, what is it? So like even for my own story, like some of them I'm looking at, they're not even sexual in behavior. It's like when I lose my lid as a parent, like what's that driving behavior that is starting at the top where like I become dysregulated as a parent. And those are like so helpful for me to now process through the matrix of
Yeah.
addiction and just look at different areas of my life of where do I act like a jerk, and I don't want to act like a jerk anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, and I would say, Stuart, as I've experienced group, maybe in the 20 something number of times and heard from so many others, I would say our matrix of addiction, I believe this is true for men and women, although I've not led women's groups for obvious reasons, but for men and women, the matrix of addiction rarely, if ever, starts as something sexual. It
Mm.
becomes something sexual, maybe at steps 3, 4, or 5. And that's why we've been so blind to it, because the triggers are often non-sexual in nature. And by the time we are triggered sexually, we're already kind of getting into this pattern that we've been in for many, many years. And I know it can be difficult early in group to identify it, like you just both did it so easily of like, well, this led to this to this. It's like, well, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't be here. So you can kind of treat this like a crash site investigation of you probably know it's obvious that you relapsed. Okay, I looked at porn, I binged, I masturbated, that's obvious. Okay, then to ask yourself the question, well, what happened right before that? And someone might say, well, I went into the bathroom by myself with my phone. Okay,
Mm.
well, what happened before that? Well, I was looking for some space because my spouse and I were in an argument. Oh, okay, what happened before that? Like what produced the argument? Well, I'd felt disrespected about a comment they made and I kind of lost my temper a little bit. Okay, what happened before that? Well, I'm actually kind of sleep deprived because I haven't been getting to bed early enough. I've been working too many hours and I'm just kind of emotionally exhausted. Like,
What
oh,
happened before
now,
that?
yeah. And you can just keep going until you're like, well, I don't know. I think that was kind of the starting point. Like, oh, well, there you go. Your starting point might be I get physically or emotionally exhausted from work. Now I start to get edgy or, critical of my spouse, which leads to an argument, which causes me to isolate. And then as I isolate, I end up relapsing. You've just discovered your pattern because you walked it backwards. And what you're learning to do then is go, what I need to pay attention to is not just going into the bathroom with my smartphone, which by the way is almost a universal guardrail, like no,
Yes.
no phones in private rooms because it's just too easy to click on a button. But that alone is not as important as all the way back to when I'm emotionally exhausted or physically exhausted from work, I've got to have some ideas in place to not go to the same pattern over and
Can
over.
we take it a step deeper and simply say, oh, that person could even be overworking because they believe they're not enough. And so they have to prove their, by performance, prove their identity, back to a core wound, back to a core lie.
Which may be, but also what I would want to point out, I think many of our matrices of addiction start in places that are not bad, wrong, or sinful. You know, like yours, Stuart, you were bored. And in this world, at some point or another,
Yes.
we're all going to experience boredom. Like you can't live
true.
this life and not at some point say, I'm feeling a little boredom. Well, if that's your trigger point, or maybe you do have a hard, taxing job where like I had a 14-hour day, not because I chose it, because that's what was required of today. Well, as part of life, then you've got to be aware that could be what kicks off my cycle. And that's going to happen again. So what will I do differently next time?
Yeah, it makes me think of the nurse who works 3 12-hour or 4
Or
12-hour
the
shifts
night
in a
shift,
week.
and then they're home and everyone's gone because it's their time to sleep. And now suddenly they're on no fault of their own. They're into their pattern.
That's the ritual that leads to edging, that leads to acting out. So true. So true.
The other thing I would point out is the faster scale also, it takes a long while. I think it's down to ticked off or exhausted before sexual behavior even shows up on the faster scale. And so for the matrix of addiction to not notice that until later on, I think we see that across the board in other tools.
Yeah. I remember when I started counseling with Dr. Ted, and I've shared this on other podcasts, I remember most sessions, he just kept bringing up my patterns of procrastination. And at one point I got frustrated. Like, I'm here to deal with pornography. Would you get off my back about the procrastination? And he said, Nick, it's the procrastination that is always what leads you into avoidance and isolation, and you end up using pornography. And it was this moment. I mean, he was like basically saying my matrix in that moment, like, how have I never seen that? How have I never understood that procrastination is the breeding ground for me? So look into those places that you probably know are true of yourself, but you haven't connected the dots, that it's what leads you into a relapse. So